So if people are telling you're losing your time watching dramas or why are you watching those stupid telenovelas, tell them I'm learning a language. I'll see you next time. I think a lot of people have a bad opinion on TV shows and how much you're losing your time. Obviously, it's a form of entertainment, but it can also be a form of learning. And if you're also the type of people that do language learning through immersion, you would know that. But it's basically how you would get a lot of kind of speech in context. Not all the shows you can get natural speech, which I get it, it's fine. But in a lot of time when you're watching series and TV shows, because the pronunciation is pretty clear, that's gonna help. So on this video, I wanted to talk about how you can really use your spare time when you have no motivation watching TV shows, whether it's a drama, it's telenovelas, it's like a series. Take that time that you don't have the energy to put into actually studying, but then you still want to improve your language, your target language. Use that time and kind of combine both. Everywhere you should combine both. Well, whenever you can, combine things. So combine learning a language and entertainment. And I'm going to tell you why that is a really good thing to do. So basically, when you're learning, like the few key elements that I realized of learning through like a TV show, I'm not saying that you will get fluent at this, but what you can really improve is your listening skills. Yes, because I really hate when you're learning a language in a classroom setting or some type of like class type of setting or lecture. They give you those like textbooks, audios of very slow, and it's just very annoying to hear like the way people speak in those audio because almost no one would ever speak like that to you, right? And if someone criticizes, like, oh, yeah, in a show, they're not speaking like people speaking in the streets, but they're speaking at a normal speed. And that's already a step up compared to the study material that when you're like learning in school and that they putting this audio. I really hate that. So really the number one things that you will gain from watching dramas and series and telenovelas is really that you will improve your listening skills to a point that when you hear people speaking naturally in the street, you will be used to that speed. Like obviously some people speak faster, but having listened to 1,000 hours of Spanish in a TV shows compared to 1,000 hours of audio from a study program, I swear I don't need to bet. I know you will understand better because if you've listened to native content. So really access to native content, although it's scripted, is really gonna help you improve your listening skills. Another thing that I really like is that when you do active input, as in watching shows and other forms of TV, you really get to learn words in context or learn emotion and situation in context. And that's how I learned the best. I remember I've also learned certain expression this way. I remember I've learned in Korean the expression 마음에 들어 because I saw a woman and then she was watching something and she's, oh, yes, I love it. And it is not the typical way that you say, I love it, and oh, I love it, or I love you, or I love this person. But it's something that you would hear in also normal speech. And that's not something that is taught, or at least not at the level that I was at. And I think collocation, vocab in context, understanding nuances, these are things that you can only understand if you're watching or getting accustomed to native content. So that's why it's very important to integrate this part of your routine. Another point that I really think is useful is to get bits and bytes of the culture. Let me say, I know dramas, telenovelas, series does not represent reality, but they are part of things they are part of the reality. For example, with what I've seen with Korean, like I've discovered, oh, they were a culture of having certain seaweed soup for your birthday. Does that mean that it's still applicable today? Maybe not. But I know that, okay, if someone makes a joke about, oh yeah, is it today to give you like seaweed soup, then I know that what they're referring to. So that will help you have the reference. It's the same when you have ceremony for the people that are deceased. There's a certain way to do it, or even certain food. If you watch certain shows, you would basically understand part of the culture through the shows. If you watch a show in Latin America, you might discover new element. Either it's gonna be cities, architecture. Usually a show is not set in one room, it's set outside, so you see landscape, but it's also have different scenes. You will see food, so you will see culture element. So that's in overall is gonna help you have a better picture, a better understanding of a language. Certain shows that are really great as well will help you with basically this common speech that you have that people say daily speech, right? That is also really great, a really great way to learn, but those are usually specific, I don't know, type of shows that you can learn about. I don't think people should think, oh, if you learn a language through shows, you're not going to learn anything. And you should not also be on the other spectrum of saying, oh, I just watch a show and I'm going to learn the language. No, it's multiplying the number of resources, but still maintaining not an overwhelming amount of resources. That's how you're going to improve. That's how you're going to understand the culture to a deeper level, to a level where you feel comfortable and you might even start understand certain jokes. That has happened to me with Korean. I would start understanding certain jokes that does not make sense at all if you don't understand the context, if you don't have the cultural, let's say, element. And another thing that I really realized with Korean is that I've watched a lot of variety shows, including entertainment and things like that. And I remember I've watched a lot of hip hop, Korean hip hop shows. And among one of those, there were certain meme that became very popular. And because I've watched the shows and the different episodes, so I knew about those moments, those really meme moments. And when those moments are mentioned in another show or something, you get it because it's part of now your culture. This pop culture, you can also gain it from watching shows, but also reality shows. So don't always think it's stupid to watch reality shows because you might get a really good understanding of the culture of a country the more you immerse yourself. That's really part of it. So again, I really believe in immersion learning. That's what I'm always trying to do. On this channel, you will find a lot of a video on the topic of language learning, but also in immersion learning. I'm thinking I will do a video also in general about the immersion or refold method, depending if you're following a certain structure, because that's always what I think has been a really a winning strategy for me. So I hope today's video was great and that it really made you want to watch more shows in your target language, and you really will benefit from watching those shows. I have also a video on Language Reactor. Like that's a tool that you can use to have subtitle in your target language, and you can hide the subtitle in your native language or the language you can speak. And it will also have basically colored words. So I really recommend watching that video as well. It's gonna help you a lot. And also reading. I also have some video about that and how reading is gonna help you because it's immersion learning. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. You gained a lot of valuable information, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.